Well, it's seventh heaven for the Perth Lynx as the race for finals tightens up. Hello and welcome to episode 14 of the WNBL show. I'm Megan Hustwaite and Tess Madgen is back for round 2. Hello, Tessie.
Hey, Megs. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back. When I say come back again, no one really takes us up. So thanks for actually coming back.
Well, I've got to do something. I'm not playing, so I've got to be involved somehow. And I loved it last time, so why not come back?
Although, were we the curse? Because last time you were here, you were on the team list to play Townsville and you didn't go. And then you came and saw us on the Monday and you came back on the Wednesday night and that was it.
Yeah, I don't think it was you. I think it was me.
Yeah, you're kind of, you're kind of kicking me under the table right now.
No, unfortunately, I did say last time I was here that I didn't want to be a hero, but I was being a little bit of a hero, trying to return to play. I really wanted to give it a crack. I felt pretty good at practice, but playing a game's a completely different pace, more strenuous on the body, and I just wasn't up to it. My knee was still quite painful, but that was coming from like a lack of muscle in my leg that had unfortunately wasted away since before the World Cup, and then just trying to play through it. So definitely made a smart decision to call it there, not only for myself but also for the team, and so they can put the right players in the right situations to have a really good crack at the championship. But also just so I can get a really solid rehab in the next, 3 to 6 months, however long it takes to build that leg back up, to give it a really good crack next WNBL season, and then hopefully, at Paris at the next Olympics. So although I'm doing everything I can to try and help the Boomers get a championship this season, I'm really got my sights set on playing well next WNBL season and having a really solid preparation for that.
Did you know in that game that it wasn't right?
Yeah, I did. I mean, there were some warning signs at practice as well, but those that know me well know I'm pretty stubborn and passionate and was kind of ignoring those, but was just really not myself mentally, just not bringing, who I am to the team, which was probably the most disappointing part for me. Being like a really good leader. So yeah, after the game I was in an immense amount of pain and I was just like, what am I doing? And I had gotten so low mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So I just, called it basically. Went and saw some specialists the next day and they completely agreed that, I could probably battle through on limited minutes, play just a tiny amount per game, but I was at risk of doing that leg more damage, my other leg more damage, and there was no guarantee of the pain, and I couldn't just keep going that way.
Well, you are on the bench, you're around your girls, so you're a great support and still, very much a leader, still visible. What is luckily not visible is the high pants haven't came back out. So I'm super happy about this. I saw you yesterday. You've just reverted back to regular pants. So you're playing a role on the bench, but you're not wearing the coaching uniform. So this is a positive out of all this.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I've resorted back to the sporty but naughty full-time look of just the tights and the polo, some runners.
Darcy Garvin would be very happy about this.
Shout out, Darcy. Hope you're watching.
Miss you.
Listening. So just, we do have me, Lily and Mia on the end of our bench at the moment, unfortunately, but just trying to help the team out as best as we can, where we can.
We will talk a bit more about you and the Boomers later, but let's wrap up what was a massive week, a massive round. You've had to really just take a breath because it's been incredible what's been going on. So we know that the race is on for, it's a top 5 going for 4 spots. Perth have won 7 on the trot. So we sat here last week with Chloe Bibby. They'd arrived in Melbourne with 5 wins in a row. They've gone to Bendigo, knocked them off, beaten you guys on Sunday. So it's been a successful but long road trip for them with 3 games. Townsville in 4th spot won their double without a couple of big players. So they're doing the right thing. And then Bendigo and Melbourne have had a loss. Southside's got out of jail by a point. It's hectic.
Yeah, it is. It's so good to watch. I mean, it's a great spectacle for the fans. And I think, particularly Perth, they play such an upbeat style of play and all their whole bench, like their whole team, their whole list, 12 players need to be on that same page for them to be successful. And it does take a while for it to come to fruition. So I'm not surprised that they're having such a good run in the latter half of the season, because it was only bound to happen that, Amy Atwell started firing, Robbie Jones started firing, Sammy's obviously elite. So they have, with Chloe and Sherfy and Sharpie in that 4-5 position, they do have all the tools they need to be successful. And I mean, although we lost to them on the weekend, it is a very exciting, fun style of basketball to watch. And it looks, they all, from the best player all the way to the last player off the bench, they all come and do their role and look like they have a great time doing it. So huge credit to Ryan for what he's doing at Perth, and obviously Sammy and Sherfy in that leadership position. They've got everyone playing really well.
Well, we know that they love to shoot the three, so they're never going to die wondering there. And sometimes it does come off. I think you look at their shooting percentage and go, oh, wow, but they keep jacking it up, and that's their game style. And I love that they live by it confidently. Like it's not something that they're stepping back over. It's what they do. And, if you're going to put it up that many times, there's a fair chance it's going to come off, and it did over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. When we were scouting for the game on the weekend, shout out to Christy Harrower, just an absolute
goat.
Yeah, goat. Highest IQ person I've ever been around with basketball. She was telling us that they've attempted 100 more threes than anyone else in the league over the season. So it definitely shows what style of play they want to play. And unfortunately, we just gave them too many open looks on the weekend. And then Amy especially started feeling, too many open looks. She starts making them, then she's making like contested threes with a hand in her face. So with great shooters like that, you can't give them that many open looks. Otherwise, it's going to come and bite you at the end.
Oh, it's going to be one hell of a run home to finals in WNBL 23. But let's go back to when the round started in Bendigo last week. It was Perth and Bendigo. So Perth 92-88 victors. They had an incredible start, but Bendigo came home so strong on the back of Annalee, another double-double. Perth really held on here because Bendigo just had a hell of a run in that final quarter. And Bendigo without Kelsey Griffin again.
Yeah, I was actually at the tennis, lucky enough to be watching Novak, but I was looking at the stats out by 20 at the end of the third quarter. And then I stopped watching Novak towards the end of that last fourth quarter because Bendigo just made a run back. And like you said, off the back of Annalee, and I think it's awesome to see Tessa finding some form as well.
How good was Tessa?
Everyone loves Levy. She lit us up at the end of the game last week, and it's good to see that she's finding her form back on the basketball court.
They've got so much depth, haven't they, Bendigo? Like we talk a lot about the Flyers having depth, but you think when you can bring Levy in, that's won championships with that team, been to a couple of Olympics, won medals at World Cups, and you bring her in off an AFLW season, and you just can't replicate that experience, particularly as in that guard position.
Yeah, what an absolute dream. And I think it's also freed Kelly up a bit as well since Tessa's been playing a bit more. You can really see what Kelly's starting to do as well. So they definitely have all the tools, especially with KG back. When she comes back, they're going to be really hard to beat come finals.
Sammy Whitcomb, 25 points. Gee, we need to add up how many games she's won for the Lynx because she did a similar effort against Canberra before Christmas. Canberra looked like they might win their first game. In front of a home crowd, Sammy came out and had a second half for the ages. She's just so clutch for them, isn't she?
Yeah, she's incredible. And she's, she does the work. So there's no doubt she's going to come up in the clutch moment. She works so hard in the gym, always, she lives in the gym. So, it's great to see someone like that come up clutch because they've done all the hard work. It's like Tiff for our team. So much confidence within them, and they're never out of a game. Perth will never be out of a game with someone like Sammy on their team. And once she starts firing, it builds confidence within the rest of the group. And just she's such a great leader as well. So really, takes everyone along for the ride with her.
So the nail-biting theme continued on in the round. Townsville getting over the Caps by a point. No Steph Reid in this game. Tiana Hawkins had 17 and 6. Zatina Okuso back from a broken foot, 20 off the bench, which was huge. We've got to talk about Jade Melbourne, though, 19 and 6, and it was the big bun energy for Jade. You know that I was going to bring it up. Now, I have had a few Canberra players contact me to say it was trialled during the week and it got the tick. I just thought it just did wonders for Jade Melbourne. Tess, as an avid hair enthusiast, what did you think?
I love the high bun, so you know I'm going to be all about it. But I literally had to watch it for so long till I realised it was Jade. Even though they were saying Melbourne, I'm like, that's not Jade.
Melbourne.
It made it look taller also.
Yes.
So Jade, don't go away from the high bun. It's incredible. Like, Jade is such a great player, but she's also such a great leader at such a young age, and it's super exciting to see what the future really holds for her. You know, I love seeing Canberra win their first game in the celebration. So I don't really try and go for any team when I'm watching, but you know, I always go for the underdog. I'm sorry, I have to. So it was a nail biter, but Townsville, huge credit to them, especially without Steph, their court floor general. Zatina, great to see her finding some form. I think she's going to be super important for them come finals and their push for finals.
The close games then continued the next night because Southside, again, a 1-point margin, defeated Adelaide. Kayla Thornton had a huge 22-11 double-double, but came up big when the game was on the line. But it was Izzy Lace who started on fire for Adelaide. And as a proud South Australian, you must just love seeing Izzy do her thing.
Absolutely, and she's so efficient. I think she was like flawless, 8 from 10 when
flawless in the first quarter.
Yeah, so yeah, it is awesome to see, especially that she's gone back to Adelaide. They recruited her from Adelaide to come back, and just to see her do her thing. I think she's got an enormous future, not only within WNBL but really wherever she wants to go with her basketball career. So really looking forward at working with her now that she's made an Opal squad. Very well deserved. But yeah, back to Kayla Thornton. She is just so clutch. I remember the first time we played them at State Basketball Centre and she just really...
Round 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
She can turn the game on its head at any given moment. She's such a great rebounder. She can get to the ring at ease. And yeah, I think whenever Southside need her, she really steps up. So
true. And I think because they're stacked and they've got so much depth coming off the bench, we probably haven't acknowledged her season like we would if she was, you know, the number one go-to on another team. Yeah. So I think when you look at her numbers, you know, she's just been so consistent, but she has stepped up and really won them some games, which was the case at the weekend. Steph Talbot, a 15-11 double-double, but it was great to see Adelaide after a few weeks where I'm sure they were disappointed with their performance, come back and have a great performance against Southside. Their series has been super. There've been 3 really close games, obviously back in round 1, and then Adelaide beat Southside in Adelaide in the second leg. So that's the end of that series, but it's been a ripper. Let's move on to Townsville and Sydney, another close game, 82-78 winners Townsville. Now, we had a bit of a swap around. So Reid was back, which we thought was great, but Lauren Nicholson was out. Steph Reid only lasted a tick under 14 minutes. Everything was going on. Tiana Hawkins was in foul trouble. Carly Samuelson was sitting on 4 fouls, but Townsville found a way and got over the line. Love this story. Crystal Liga Walker played 34 minutes, which would be, I don't know what her average minutes are for the season, but she eclipsed that and had 10 points. How great is it to see when a teammate, someone on the team who hasn't had the opportunities gets their chance and they take it with both hands?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I've heard a lot of great things about Crystal through Guy, who's her coach with New Zealand. So I knew she definitely had the potential. And even when she used to sub in and back up Steph, you could see that she had the skills, the IQ, and like what a dream to have a point guard like that off the bench. So yeah, super happy for her, and obviously it takes a lot of confidence. She's obviously prepares really well for every game to be able to come out and do that and show, you know, what she's got. But I also think training against Steph every day at practice is only going to make you better, and it definitely holds you to an account, you know, to be able to run that team at practice when you're versing each other.
So she was great, but also shout out to Kate Gazy and Courtney Woods, who had to play bigger roles. You know, they didn't know what was going to happen with Steph within the game, let alone not having Nicholson play. So that was huge. Samuelson had 14, Hawkins 15, Michaela Roof had a double-double, Z had 11. So that's a real, I thought it was as gutsy win and probably performance considering the context for Townsville this season. But I think they've probably gone under the radar a bit because the focus for a lot of the season's been on the big 3 Victorian teams. Perth have now won 7, but I think Townsville have had 2 super gutsy wins to keep themselves in 4th.
Absolutely. I think it's a bit scary, honestly, with all those people in double figures for the rest of the league. If they can keep those people firing while they bring back in Steph and Loz, who are their main 2 playmakers, they're going to be hard to shut down. If you have more than 5 people in double figures, it makes it really hard for the opposition. So, it could be a blessing in disguise that they've had to, sit Steph and Loz for those 2 games, and other people have been able to show what they can do and step up in big moments.
Let's move on to the final game of the round. It was Perth and Melbourne at Parkville. Lynx came out winners 91-82. Again, we talked about Perth earlier, but they'd left Perth, I think, the Friday before, played Sydney, came to Melbourne on the Sunday, went to Bendigo on the Tuesday, played on the Wednesday, and then sort of were back in Melbourne from Thursday until playing Sunday. That's a lot of time, but it's a lot of time to just play everything out in your head or lose a bit of momentum, but they didn't come out like that, unfortunately for the Boomers, but they looked as fresh as anyone. You wouldn't have known they'd been here and been on the road for 10 days.
Yeah, sometimes being on the road together does really strengthen your bond. And when you're on the road together for that long, although you don't have your vices that you usually have with your family or Perth's beautiful beaches or however they spend their downtime, sometimes it can band you closer together as a team. And I think that was definitely the case when we played them on Sunday. They played so well together. They had fun. You could just tell they were really up and about and all about each other, which unfortunately for us, really did play a big part in the loss.
So Sammy Whitcomb didn't play in this game. She went home early with a bit of a back complaint. How does that change things for you guys with the way you've prepared? Because, they did announce it a day or so before, but obviously you prepare for Whitcomb being, their leader and arguably their best player. Does that sometimes give a hiccup to the opposition?
Well, as much as the coaches try to say it doesn't matter who they've got, we have to prepare exactly the same way. We knew Ryan and Atwell can easily, step up and score bigger numbers than what they had been. But I don't know. I didn't suit up for the game, but as a player, maybe sometimes it does take a bit of wind out of your sail, and then those other players step up and they're just unstoppable. But selfishly, I'm so happy Perth were here for so long because I got to see Sammy 3 times. Yes. So I absolutely loved their extended stay. It was brilliant.
I love that. Amy Atwell, player of the week after her incredible round, 27.7 triples. Just loved seeing it all click for her because it's what we know she can produce, and it just must give her and Perth so much confidence to put up a performance like that, particularly with Sammy out.
Yeah, they're going to be tough to play when Sammy's shooting the ball like that and Amy is, and Ryan also shot really well yesterday. Then they've got Chloe Bibby, Scherf can shoot the 3. So, I think whoever's playing them for the rest of the season, I'm glad our 3 games are out of the way now. But they're going to be. You
had them twice early, didn't you, in Perth? Yeah.
They're going to be tough to beat.
Congrats to Lauren Scherf on 200 games, a wonderful achievement, and isn't she just flourishing in her second season at the Lynx? But yeah, I want to talk about Robbie Ryan, averaged 17 points and 5 rebounds across the round. And I think we spoke about when you played Perth in round 1, but it was a tough initiation for Robbie Ryan. First play of the game, she turns the ball over and gets pickpocketed by Christy Wallace. Welcome to the WNBL. But I've just been so impressed with, she has hit form. She's obviously got confidence. Ryan and her teammates have instilled her with that confidence. And she put up a career best performance against Bendigo and then bettered it against Melbourne. I just reckon it's one of the great stories of the season.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's like what I touched on earlier was that their style of play needs time to gel and it's working now. And all the players have clearly bought in. They're all playing great, which is a great sign of culture. You need good people, good coach, good captain, good leaders to really get that flowing through, buying into the system, and they all have, which is they're going to be tough to beat. But yeah, playing against Wally for your first game in WNBL, I have to sometimes do it at practice, and she's just a workhorse, phenomenal. She never stops. And I think that's why, she is a fan favourite. Everyone loves her because they can just, she Aussie, so Aussie the way she plays, never gives up. She plays every single possession like it's her absolute last. Love Wally. She's just an absolute legend.
Now, Sammy wasn't in action for Perth, but no Mia Murray again for the Boomers. How's Mia going? And just talk to us about how big a loss she is, because that speaks to the season that she's had.
Yeah, she's like arguably career best form. Just incredible and such a great teammate. She definitely brings a level of composure and poise to our group, and then she spaces a floor with her 3-point shooting ability. So it is a massive loss to our team. Hopefully, either she'll get up for this game or just miss one more, I'm hoping. No more than that. So she's really fit and firing, ready for finals. We've got obviously the weekend break next weekend with the FIBA window, so we'll see. But I have no doubt she'll be back up ready for finals and bring that, what she does, like what she's always done her whole career, 3-point shooting and that level of composure and poise, and just being a great leader, great teammate. She still does that, of course, while sitting on the sidelines. But I think without her on the floor, we lose a 3-point shooter, and teams can, crowd Kayla, Tiff, Liv, Wally's space a bit more in the key way, and it just makes everything a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, hopefully Mia's back soon because we miss her. And congrats, I wanted to say to Sophie Burrows. We talked about her the other week, first points, but got her first start, which was awesome. I just love these stories.
Yeah, she's a great young athlete. I think she's going to Syracuse at college this year, and she works super hard at practice. She's always training against Kayla or Tiff, so you're only going to get better as a 3-4 in that position. But, yeah, huge shout out to her and what, Chris thinks she's able to do on defense, which she did prove. Her main job was to box out Sharpie and crash offensive boards, which she did every single play. So to go from, not playing much to become a starter, shows great character for her, and I think, she has a fantastic basketball career ahead of her.
Well, it's a huge round coming up as we honour the greatest to ever do it in Australian basketball, Lauren Jackson, when the Flyers play the Sydney Flames at John Cain Arena. Let's talk to the GOAT now. Well, it's a big week in the Signet WNBL because the Southside Flyers are taking their game against the Sydney Flames to John Cain Arena as they celebrate the GOAT of Australian basketball, Lauren Jackson, who joins us on the show this week. Hello, LJ. How are you feeling ahead of a very big weekend?
Hey, Megsy. Yeah, I'm good. Very excited. I think, this weekend obviously is it's huge for women's basketball, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
So we're looking to break the record WNBL crowd of 7,100, and I know you love your WNBL history. That was the 1995 grand final in Adelaide between the Lightning and the Melbourne Tigers, which was decided in double overtime. I'm sure you watched plenty of WNBL back in 95.
What was I doing then? I was 14. I probably did actually watch it, to be honest. Yeah, look, it'd be great if we could do that. It's a big ask, but I think hopefully people come out and watch. I think it's, like I said, really exciting. And for me, it's going to be playing on the Sydney team. So it's going to be fun.
Now, you played Sydney a few weeks ago, and your best friend in Rachel, who's playing for the Flames at the moment, Shelley Gorman, coaching Sydney at the moment, a former teammate of yours. So there's connections all across the league in Career Point 2.0 for you in the WNBL.
Yeah, it's true. I've got a lot of friends from around the courts from over the years, which is exciting. Having Shelley around is beautiful. I mean, she's such a beautiful human, and it's magic that I get to share these moments with everyone. And I've got a lot of family and friends coming up from Albury for it, which is great. And I don't know. It all seems a bit surreal, to be honest. It's a bit too special, really.
It's going to be a special night, as we know, on Saturday, 6:30 against the Sydney Flames at John Cain Arena. But tell us a bit about what this WNBL season has been like, because you've been a bit of a touring roadshow around the country, and it's been incredible to see the scenes after games where clubs have put a table and chair for you on the court, and the line's been huge. We've heard all about how you've been at games for, an hour plus afterwards and getting Ubers back to hotels. Have you been overwhelmed by the turnout of fans and people that are just so happy to see and meet you?
Yeah, it's been really quite amazing. I think I've sort of talked about it a little bit, but, you know, a lot of the kids that are coming to the games, they would never have seen me play. They would have had no idea, you know, who I am. And I'm often sort of meeting these little kids and they're like, oh, you're my favorite player. And then their mum and dad come up like, oh, I watched you all the time growing up. And it's like, oh my God, you know, it's sort of spanned generations, which it really is kind of crazy, but it's special, you know. And I think, you know, as a kid, being able to meet my idols was really important to me, and for Harry and Lenny as well, to see that, you know, everyone is accessible, that visibility around women's sport and sport in general, and just being able to meet your idols and see the sort of excitement that kids have when they're meeting people that they really look up to. It's so special. So for me, it's just about giving back. You know, I didn't have the opportunity to do that when I retired. So it's been incredible, Megs. It really has.
You're one of 10 mums in the league this year, and you're very proud that Southside have the most mums on any team. And you mentioned the boys. How special has it been to have them along on this ride? They've both been on road trips with you in recent weeks, and it's been super cute seeing Harry warm up with you on the sidelines in his Jackson 25 singlet. It is a juggle, obviously, being, you know, a mum, you're working, you're playing, the kids are in school and all that kind of stuff. But how important and, special has it been to have them with you?
Look, it's been really hard, actually. I think just because it's been hard on the kids not being able to be with me all the time, and then with the school, obviously they've been on holiday, so they've been able to travel a lot more with me and be in Melbourne and stuff. But now that they're back at school, it is harder. It's magic to have the kids at the games and, you know, on the airplanes and traveling with us and stuff. It has been beautiful, and the Southside Flyers have really embraced all my teammates have embraced the kids, and they love having the kids around, and that's been really beautiful to see the way that they treat the boys. But yeah, look, it's hard. It's hard particularly for Lenny, because he sort of really misses me, and when I'm not home, and it's definitely hard. So, but you know, it's only a little bit longer, and then the season will be over, and then I'll be home and back in that routine again with them. So that'll be good.
It's a lifestyle that you know very well, because this is how you grew up with your parents, who of course both played for Australia, and I think you're in a little bassinet in the stands at the stadium that's named after you. Grew up in stadiums, so it must be nice to now share, you know, growing up in a basketball community and around all these wonderful people with your own kids.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I think for the kids to have that sort of to know what it feels like to be in a team environment and to be around a group of people who are coming together for a common goal, I think that's really important for kids to sort of see and be a part of. And I think it helps as well just with their, the way that they learn to work with other kids and develop, you know, different skills and working with people and communication and things like that. So I think it's really good for them to be around the team. They love the girls, like I said before. All of the girls and Cheryl and everyone have just been so beautiful and treated them so kindly. And I'd say back in the day that I would have been the same with other people's kids, but look, everyone has just been so beautiful and welcoming of the boys. So
that's so nice to hear. So we learned 2 weeks ago late on a Tuesday, that you've been playing with a fractured foot, which you sustained against Perth Lynx in Perth back in round 5, and you came out about 24 hours later and had 30 points against Sydney on the road. How is the foot, and tell us how real this injury is and what kind of impact it's having on you practicing and playing, and I guess just on everyday life?
It is a break. I've broken my foot. It's a Liz fracture. I don't even know what it's called. It's I've ruptured a bit of a ligament and broken a bit of a bone. Thought it was arthritis initially, and that's why I was playing on it for a while before we found it in scans. And then it was one of those things where if I play, this was my new normal, you know, and I had to sort of get through it. And that's what my thought process was initially. And then, obviously a couple of weeks ago I found out it was broken. So, and then I was kind of like, oh, thank God for that. The pain is real. It is, but at least I knew that I could play on it, you know. So I'm just going to try and get through as best I can. And, you know, I have good days and I have a lot of very bad days at the moment with it, but it's like I've been playing on it. So I've just got to try and get through it as best I can.
And like you said, it was a bit of a relief when you found out it was broken because you knew you weren't sort of imagining the pain, but you played with so much pain and injuries during, you know, career 1.0. So it's not an unfamiliar feeling for you.
Oh, this is different. It definitely feels a little bit, it's painful. Like, you know, I'm definitely feeling it every step I take. I mean, even just in days like today, walking around, going to the gym and things like that, it's just, oh my God. I think anyone that's sort of dealt with pain knows that it is quite tiring and it is quite draining emotionally, but like I'm with the team and I really want to help them win and I'm going to do whatever I can to stay on the court, you know, until the end of the season and then I'll deal with it after that. There's not much I can do about it now. So you just got to suck it up, you know, and I'll do it. Like I'm just doing what I can do, you know.
A big crop of young talent around the league. Izzy Borlase is doing amazingly at Adelaide. We've got Shanice Swain and Jade Melbourne at Canberra, to name a couple. You must be so pumped by the calibre of young talent that's coming through.
Yeah, for real. I think particularly in the guards, you know, that sort of 1, 2, 3 spot, we've got just some great young talent coming through. And, you know, Jade Melbourne, I think she's going to be leading the Opals for a long, long time, you know, when it's her time to come into the team and everything. And I've said, I couldn't express how excited I am about her last year. You know, just training with her with the national and everything, it was so great to watch. And her passion for the game and her IQ and her smarts, she's just, you know, the whole package. Nards, Shanice Swain, Dallas when she comes back in. I think there's the guards positions are in a great spot. I think in terms of our bigs, I haven't really seen much of them, but I hear there's some good kids coming through, which is exciting. And hopefully I get to work with them a little bit, you know. I think that being able to sort of help develop them and give them the skills and I guess some of the basketball sort of insights that I would have, I think that would be really helpful and beneficial.
No one better to help them with that. And speaking of imparting knowledge, how is your other baby going, She Hoops? That keeps you very busy. It is your baby girl that you've finally got after 2 boys, but it's going great guns at the moment.
It is. She Hoops is so exciting. I think in terms of what it can do and the potential that it has in the future to really bring the basketball community together, it's really exciting. We're doing some great things at the moment. Obviously masterclass with Madgen. So Tess has been running these camps for kids, which have, you know, taken off. We're putting together a little, I'm not going to talk too much about this one, but we're doing some work with Dallas, which you're going to be involved with, which I'm really excited about. But I'll leave it at that. But there's other stuff as well that's sort of coming up. And we are updating which is exciting, and we'll relaunch the platform in March. So it's a bit more user-friendly, better accessibility and visibility and stuff. So there's a lot of great things happening with She, and it's a great platform and a great place to sort of get all the information you need, resources, hear from great people in the sport, people that have done great things from all over the world. It's a great place.
Let's finish off with Saturday, of course. We're celebrating you at John Cain Arena and gunning for that record WNBL crowd. But at the end of the day, it's another must-win for Southside heading into the run home of the WNBL season, because it is a crazy finish. Every win is so important. And Sydney have had a really good month of basketball throughout January. So it's another huge game for the Flyers.
It's a massive game. I don't know if you've seen the ladder, but there's literally one game between top spot and 5th spot. So every single game is so critical for all of us at the moment. And it's funny because people have been like, oh, you should just take a game off. And I'm like, have you seen the ladder? Right.
Have you seen the difference between a home final?
It is. Or even dropping to 5th place and missing out on the finals altogether. It's so stressful right now. And I don't think I've been in the league when the top 5 have been this close, in the run home. So, we as Southside, look, we want to win it, obviously, but we haven't played our best basketball in the last couple of weeks by any means. So, and Sydney, they've been getting, thank you, Dal, appreciate you, a couple of very big games that they could have quite easily got. So they're a dangerous team for us to come up against. And, yeah, I think it's going to be a real battle. It's going to be a real battle, a great game to come and watch and support. But hopefully we have, half of Melbourne there supporting us. That would be fantastic. Get the crowds on. But, yeah, look, it's massive. These next sort of 5 weeks are going to be huge. And what a time to be a part of the WNBL. It's crazy.
And it's pretty scary that the Flyers haven't played their best in the last few weeks but have still won all of those games. So watch out. It was a few heart stoppers in there, but good luck to your opponents when you do hit your best. Loz, it's been so good chatting today. Thank you for your time amongst a very busy week. We can't wait to celebrate you and women's basketball on Saturday night at John Cain Arena. Enjoy the rest of your week and hopefully you can lap it all up on Saturday night against the Flames.
Thank you, Dal. Appreciate you.
Round 13 of the Signet WNBL tips off Wednesday night in Perth, Tess. Oh, my goodness. The Lynx are playing Townsville Fire, so they're both vying for 4th. They play twice this round. My goodness me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be so exciting. I'll be definitely watching on the edge of my seat on Wednesday and again on Saturday. Saturday.
Yep.
That's tough. Like, that is really tough. It really could decide their spot in the finals, and both teams are suffering a few injuries, so that might play a big part. But I know Darcy's very happy to see that they're actually playing Townsville in Perth. Apparently they haven't been there for a couple of seasons.
Since before 2020, we know Darcy.
So I think either team can win, but I do think maybe those injuries will play a little bit in the results.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see. Well, we believe that Sammy is playing and that was the reason why she went home early and missed the game in Melbourne against Melbourne, but Nicholson and Reid, we're going to be closely watching what's going on with the back injuries.
I know, especially with that travel.
Yeah.
To travel from Townsville to Perth with not a great back, that's going to be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone's fit and healthy, and I hope all 3 are playing because it's going to be a great game, and you want to be a team at full capacity. So
going to be super interesting. That kicks off on Wednesday night. Thursday, Caps and Lightning in Canberra both lost by 1 last round, but one's going to enjoy a win this weekend. Who's it going to be?
I think it will be Adelaide, but I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah.
And I think, if Canberra bring their best performance and can shut down, especially that penetration by Steph and Borlase, it'll go a long way in the win.
Borlase and Melbourne, exciting to see them both playing in the same game.
Absolutely. I think they're quite good friends as well, so I hope there's a bit of banter on the court.
Yeah, COE graduates. Saturday, we've got a double header. Of course, we spoke to LJ before, so it's Southside and Sydney at John Cain Arena. And Tess, will you be watching this game?
I definitely will be. I've got my debut commentating gig. So I hope I'm as good as you, Megan. Big shoes to fill.
But, small shoes to fill.
I don't know why I keep putting myself in these anxiety-provoking situations. I'm already nervous. It's Monday.
Oh, you'll be so fine.
I'm going to have to do some practice with the other they're going to be great games, so I'm going to just sit at home and commentate the games.
Well, just say what needs to be said. Don't overtalk it.
Less is more, I think.
Less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more. And you won't be on camera, unfortunately.
I'm a big overtalker, though. You know me.
Oh, you're not. No.
Okay.
Not.
All right. Thanks. I feel confident already.
You'll be fine. And you suiting up with Graffy.
Yes. I know. I'm pretty excited. She's great in the commentary, so learning from the best.
Yeah. Graf Madgen 1-2 punch. That's... I'll be tuning into that. But it was a close game last time they played in Sydney. It's going to be huge spectacles. We look to break the WNBL record. And every win is a must win for teams in the finals race. But Sydney are going to make life difficult for Southside and anyone else they play in the next little while.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like, what an amazing achievement that we can finally play at John Cain. I'm grateful to be a part of it as a commentator. I obviously wish I was able to play in the game, but huge shout out to Southside and what they've been able to do by getting the game there. Everyone get down and watch the GOAT. You never know when you're going to be able to watch her again, and she's definitely the best women's basketballer I've ever seen, best basketball in Australia I've ever seen. So lucky to be able to share the court with her. And if you don't go, you're not doing yourself a service. Please get down there. Take your girls, take your boys, take your grandpa, take your grandma. Everyone get down, watch. You will not be disappointed.
This has been written and authorised by Tess Madgen. And get your tickets at Ticketek. Perth and Townsville, round 2 after that on Saturday night. So that's going to be super interesting because we will have already had the earlier result and goodness knows what the ladder will look like come Saturday night.
I know, I'm super excited. I will hopefully be able to catch the game.
No,
I won't. I'll have to watch replay. No, it's a delayed time. Sorry. I'll be able to watch straight from John Cain straight to Perth. But I'm not commentating that.
Oh, okay. You'll just go home and watch it.
I'll go home and watch it straight home because I think that's going to be a nail biter.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game. Big week for 9 Now too, with MAFS starting the new season on Monday night. So you can, of course, catch up on all things MAFS and WNBL on 9 Now. Sunday, Melbourne Boomers and Bendigo. Amazing how you didn't play before Christmas and it's been game on in January and February. They got you last time and this is a huge win for both of you because you had losses in the previous round.
Yeah, so we've lost 2 games in a row now, so we really want to turn that around super quick. But it's also a massive game in context of where we could finish up in the top 4. We really want to win this series against Bendigo to hopefully finish higher than them on the ladder come finals time. So huge game for both teams. Obviously, I'm going to be pretty nervous watching it on the sidelines, but I'm sure that, Chris and Chrissy will have us super well prepared, but so will Kennedy and his coaching staff. So it's going to be a really fun game, and I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, it's going to be an unbelievable round of Signet WNBL. Round 13 tips off Wednesday night in Perth and Townsville. It's like pretty much a lot of these games are mini finals, aren't they?
Yeah, Chris
like
has already
elimination finals.
Absolutely. We've already been, we know for us that it is a final, so it is a good test to prepare for a final, and I'm sure our team will definitely be up and about and looking to quieten the spirit very quickly.
Oh, going to take the spirit out of the spirit. De-spiritize them. Tess, thanks for coming by again. How are you going to prepare for your commentary debut? I mean, look good, feel good, commentate good, as
Absolutely.
I say. But unfortunately, you're not on camera. I'm a bit flat about that. But how are you going to prepare? Obviously, it doesn't matter about big butt energy or straight ponytails this week.
Still look good, feel good, play good, even if no one can see you. So
That's
definitely
true.
going to be rocking a power suit to give myself that little confident. I might bring out the Harry High pants for that.
No, just wear the suit and get a picture with Graffy. I'll be waiting for a picture taken at the commentary position.
I will definitely send you one. But I've got such great games to prepare me. So I'm going to just sit at home, commentate to Kobe and Bronny. They can be my critics and we'll see how we go.
Yes.
But please send some good vibes into the universe for me for that.
Good luck for your commentary debut.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming back. No one ever does.
No one ever does.